If you're living in cities like LA, New York, Seattle, or San Francisco, you've probably been hearing a lot of, "There goes the neighborhood," and that's why today we're making a big deal about gentrification.
Just imagine, you're a cool Venice Beach, laid-back guy, kind of like me, and you're given a complete Khloe Kardashian makeover against your will. While your Louis Vuitton Damier Ebon clutch purse is obviously top shelf, and your new hair extensions have a flutter in the wind like a voluptuous silk swan, you just won't feel like yourself under all that makeup.
And on top of that, there is no way you can afford to keep up the look. That's what gentrification feels like to many residents who see their neighborhood transformed by hipster invasions.
The entire issue is complicated and gets people on both sides fired up, so that's why we're making a big deal about it, to see if there's a way to improve neighborhoods by celebrating the community and culture already inside of them.
Without making the people feel like they're being kicked out of their hood. And so let us know what you think a solution is by hitting us up at the zoo on LATV. But FYI, when you come around our hood, you can visit, but you can't stay.
Okay, so this is happening in every major city. It's been happening, for the past, well, it's always been happening, but, the past 15, 20 years with a lot of urban renewal, with a lot of hipsters and artists moving into certain neighborhoods in New York, Seattle, Miami, LA. Here it's happening right now in Boyle Heights.
Okay.
Right now in Boyle Heights, there's a lot of controversy because a lot of the local, neighborhood people, a lot of them are, lower economic rung, Latinos, Mexican Americans, Guatemalans. They're not happy about the invasion that they see coming because they see what's happening to other neighborhoods where the rent goes up. Once the coffee shop and the art gallery and the outsiders come in. And so they're protesting, but a lot of people are also saying, wait a minute, this is going to improve our neighborhood. There's a chance for people in the neighborhood to also be part of the improvement. That's the balance that we're trying to strike. So what do you guys think about gentrification?
I mean, I love the fact that obviously gentrification really, just takes some of these older looking homes or buildings and they're remodeling them and they bring them to like their past glory.
But what about the people that were living in those places?
But I do feel bad for the people, and I am worried about the effects of gentrification, considering that in North Hollywood, where a lot of us live in the Valley here in LA, they are planning to do some sort of, I've been hearing, some sort of shopping complex like the Grove, which is this beautiful outdoor shopping complex, and I'm just thinking, the price of rent in the Valley, which is more affordable than other parts here in LA, are going to skyrocket. Where am I going to move?
Or maybe, here's where I have a big question right there. What happens with rent-controlled buildings?
Well, there are some, but not every building can be rent-controlled.
There's
a limit to them.
Well, they have to be built before a certain year for them to be rent controlled. No, seriously, this is
I'm reacting to Vivian. Because I just think the rent control is bad for gentrification because then people don't get what they deserve for those apartments. You know what I mean? If someone has an apartment and it's suddenly people are paying so much more for apartments next door and they're still getting $650 a month as an owner for that apartment, it's very bad.
I mean, in our defense, like the rent control people, it's not like our buildings are super new or anything.
Absolutely.
So it kind of stays.
Absolutely.
It's
a little old.
Yes.
Well,
so that's the only downside.
It's a complicated issue.
I think you can't have an entire building be rent control. I think that maybe you can accommodate with some, a few number of units because you do want locals, you do want artists, you do want people that don't make a lot of money that add character to the neighborhood to stay. What I think needs to be done is that the city needs to get inside these neighborhoods and allow for a certain amount of gentrification to happen, but create programs where locals can get in on it. Where they can get in on owning the business, where you make sure that, yes, there's going to be some units, some commercial real estate where locals are going to get dibs on, and then you combine that with the outsiders coming in.
I mean, that happened years ago with Soho in New York, and the Lower East Side, and now Williamsburg. Williamsburg is now unaffordable.
It's insane.
And when I was living in New York, it was just up and coming.
Well,
now it's whoa, what?
In Miami, they did that with Wynwood. So the Wynwood Art District, the Design District, they used to be, for lack of a better term, sorry if it's politically incorrect, the ghetto.
And then, it's creepy. I'm not gonna lie to you because I've been down, to the downtown area in Miami, and I'm like, I don't want to be here at night by myself.
What about downtown
Well, that's changing now. You go to Wynwood now, and you're walking all over the place, and there's art galleries and there's restaurants. But then you have the artists that came in first, and they're complaining that they're getting pushed out.
Of course.
So then it becomes all corporate and the big, franchises.
Venice, I mean, I live in Venice now, and Venice has a very similar situation. It used to be like an artist colony. It was only studios and small houses and sculpture gardens and beautiful art, but it was also really dangerous. There were a lot of gang violence and gang activity.
V13
we're talking like 10, 15 years ago though, when I was little. So when I was little, I wouldn't even go. There was no reason for me to go unless one of my friends lived there or something. It was just didn't seem like somewhere I would hang out. But now it's like everyone and their mother is hanging out on Abbot Kinney near where I live. And Abbot Kinney,
certain parts that are scary.
Yeah, sort of. But Abbot Kinney and sort of the downtown Venice area has become like the Grove. It's totally sold out, and in my mind, that's where I kind of don't like gentrification, because it's improved, but for who? You know what I mean? Like,
but doesn't it beautify the city?
Not at all. No, I think it made it uglier. I think Venice. I think Venice was much more beautiful when it was just art galleries and crazy studios and things like that. But I don't think you have to get rid of that to gentrify.
But that's when it was dangerous. That's when you know.
But I'm saying you don't have to get rid of all the art stuff and put in new. You know, you could just make the art stuff better. And
that's where the city has to get involved, and the city has to say, listen, we know that what makes this neighborhood good is the character. How can we keep the character while allowing for money and improvement to come in? It has to be a balance. It can't be one or the other.
But rent is still going to go up, so I think
the rent is too damn high. Remember that guy?
Yes, everything is inevitable, people.